All right, this is the last video of my dad's old campfire cooking made easy tape. It's dessert, so I hope you like it. If anything, stay tuned for the closing statement that he has. I think that kind of says it all about this whole thing. Enjoy.
What I'm about to show you is the coup de grace of campfire cooking. It's the best way to end a beautiful day outdoors, and that's dessert. This dessert that I'm about to show you will make you famous, and that is apple cobbler from scratch with just a little cheating. Now, when it comes to campfire cooking, you're allowed a little bit of cheating. Just don't get caught. We're going to use the versatile Dutch oven again, and we're going to use real apples. You can use canned apples if you want, but real apples will give you about twice the flavor. The problem with real apples is skinning them. And if my old grandmother was here, well, she'd have these things skinned about 10 minutes ago. And she does it with a little paring knife, and you can give her an apple, and in about 5 seconds, she'll have it skinned and naked in no time. And I remember when I was about 8 years old, I had it all figured out. The way to find a wife would be to find a woman that can skin an apple or a potato real good in no time, and then I'd live happily ever after. Well, I'm not sure what happened, but in my early 20s, I must have had something else on my mind besides skinning apples with paring knives. But anyway, we won't get into that. I'll have these apples done here in a minute, and I'll put this apple cobbler together, and I'll guarantee you're going to like it. We're about to finally finish up here. This is one thing I don't like, but somebody's got to do it. It's worth it, because fresh apples is what really makes a cobbler taste good. This is about 6 apples. It looks like more, but it's only 6 apples. And it'll feed about, I don't know, six or seven men. We've cut them up in a little bite size. We're going to use the good old Dutch oven. And before I always want to kind of lubricate your oven a little bit so that your apples, this is going to be kind of a sugary mess in there, and it has a tendency to stick, so always spray a little oil in your Dutch oven first. Then just put all your apples in there, about a cup of sugar. Now you can use white sugar or brown sugar. I generally like about a cup and a half, so I like it a little sweet. Exact portions out here are not that critical, you know. Handful of this, pinch of this. It's not that critical. Now about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. This is not sugared cinnamon, just regular cinnamon, and sprinkle it all over the top. And a squeeze of 1 good lemon. All right, well, that's starting to look good. And then we add a stick of butter, a whole stick. That's what makes it rich, that's what makes it good. Just kind of spread it out a little bit here, you know, so it'll cook with the whole mess of apples. Now, we've got the apples, we've got the sugar, we've got the cinnamon, we squeezed 1 lemon over it, and we've got a stick of butter. Now, here's where we cheat a little bit. We used a little box mix here of dough. Now you can do it from scratch if you want to, but you know, we don't have modern conveniences out here, and anytime you can take a little shortcut, it's permissible. Just don't let anybody know. When you get through with the box, nobody's around, throw it in the fire. That's going to smoke up a little bit here. But anyway, all you have to do is add water to these things, and it doesn't take but a second. I think I've got 2 boxes here of pie dough mix, and you add water, and I added about, to the whole thing, I added a half a cup of water, and then you don't have to roll it out, just push it about the size of that cobbler. Oh boy, look at here. And that's a nice thick dough, because the dough is what really makes it good. And just lay it on top, lay it right there on top, and kind of let it, move it around where it'll seal around the edges, and then take your knife and make some slits. Just make some all the way across the Dutch oven, all the way through, and that'll let it breathe a little bit. It cooks a little better. A couple of them across. All right. Now, well, I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's put a little bit of cinnamon on top for just sheer aesthetics. And let's put a little sugar on top. That won't hurt. Oh boy, you know, that looks good already. Now, what we're going to do is cook this for about an hour. And again, we want about 1/3 of the heat on the bottom and about 2/3 of the heat on top. And we want to cook it at a medium temperature. And let me see what I've got over here. 101, 102, 103. That's, uh-oh, well, I'll get that later. That's about medium. I want to add a little bit of coals under here, get it just a little hotter. 101, 102, 103. All right, that's about right, about 3 seconds, which is about medium. And we're about talking about 400 degrees, 300 or 400 degrees. Now, set that on there like that. Now, as we've done before, we're going to put the coals on top, and as we've done before, we put our glove on. That fire's a little hot. Anyway, we're going to get this thing completely covered on top, and then I can go fishing or hiking or whatever I want to do for about an hour, and come back and I'll have an apple cobbler from scratch, which is just a little cheating. Oh, that looks good. Whew, it's been a long day, but it's been a good day. Boy, there's nothing like coming back to apple cobbler, though. This has been cooking, about an hour now. I've been off hiking a little bit. Let's just see what this thing looks like. Ooh, boy. Oh, that looks good. I'll tell you what, it smells better than it looks, and it looks delicious. Let me get I'll get a bigger spoon here. Ooh, I'm gonna get right in the middle of all this. Tell you what, this is the best part about campfire cooking, and that's eating it. I'm gonna walk over here and like I say, just get right in the middle of this. Before I go, I'd like to say one thing. I've enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun. We've done a lot of cooking. I hope you've had a good time, and I hope you've learned enough to be confident enough to get out here and do some campfire cooking. It's not all that hard. Once you learn the little tricks and the techniques, why, you can cook anything you want to cook. Remember, though, build the right kind of fire. Use hardwoods. Let it burn down the coals. Gauge your heat with your palm. Make sure it's the right temperature, whatever your recipe dictates. Regulate and maintain your heat, moving your coals in and out, whatever it calls for. And don't get impatient. Don't start throwing sticks in there and then letting it flame up, because you'll burn your meal. I've done it every time. Just take it easy, move some coals in if you want to heat it up. Most important, whatever you do, spend some time in the great outdoors. It's an inspiration I can't describe. Well, good luck to you.